Today I will be predicting the minifigures coming in the UCS Razor Crest set. Hey guys, so for a while now we've known that the big UCS set at the end of this year is going to be a UCS Razor Crest based on The Mandalorian. While I have done other videos on the set, I've never done one focusing on the minifigures. Now, of course, we have a few confirmed by now, as it should be, but there are some others that I wanted to predict because it sounds like this set is going to have a lot of minifigures and some really cool exclusive ones from what we've seen confirmed already. So the main one is one we've already seen, which is Quill. This image is coming from Commander Bricks, and this is the most high quality look we have of this figure. So yeah, this is the only one that I'd say is actually confirmed because, well, we've seen it, and then any other ones are rumored. So the other rumored one is Ahsoka from The Mandalorian, which is really big. That will be great. Obviously, she won't remain exclusive to the set, at least another version will be coming in, of course, the sets for the Ahsoka show, so we won't have to worry about it remaining exclusive, but that'll likely be based on a different costume. We do have another rumored minifigure, which is Mithril. I think that'll be an interesting minifigure, one obviously from the first episode of the show, and then also Grief Karga is rumored, although that one is meant to be a bit more unlikely. These are all coming from Republic studs who originally rumored the Razor Crest, and then some were backed up by other sources. Most notably, the Ahsoka one was backed up by Lego Fulcrum. Now I want to talk about some obvious ones which are pretty much 90% confirmed, I'd say, to be in this set. So obviously Mando and Grogu are going to be in it in some form. I think 2 variants of Mando would be cool. Get the one from the first 3 chapters that appeared in the original Razor Crest back. Give him arm printing maybe. Other than that, I don't think there's any other Mando variants you could do, maybe a muddy one from chapter 2, but Mando in some shape or form is obviously confirmed. Other than that, I think obviously Grief Karga, Cara Dune, IG-11, obviously Grief Karga's rumored, but you could have maybe 2 variants in there, one from season 2 and one from season 1, but those are like the obvious characters to go along with this set, as well as Quill. All of them already exist in Lego form, so we'll just be chucking those figures in the set. That's not going to hurt anyone. I also think Palimoto makes a ton of sense. We just got a figure in the Mando's in 1, so you might as well chuck her in. Maybe some pit droids included, but I wouldn't want them taking up any figure slots, just them kind of there as well as figures. I think an interesting minifigure to include would be Toro Calican. He's from the same episode that Peli first appeared in. He's the guy that shot Fennec. I think he'd just be like a basic minifigure to put in, have him be exclusive to that set and no one really mind. I think, speaking of Fennec, she and I guess both Boba, while we're at it, they feel like inclusions which aren't necessary, but I feel like are again just kind of chuck in minifigures we already have. It'd be more based on season 2, so with the Boba they could have him exclusive, give him the more scratched up armor, or even give him that hooded variant which we've seen, kind of his Tusken robe. I think that would be really cool and probably make a bit more sense with the Razor Crest. And then finally, for the chuck-in minifigures that are kind of likely, I think Paz in the armor are probably more Paz Vizsla. I think these are a bit less likely than the other ones because they don't really interact with the Razor Crest as much. That's why again I said Paz more likely, because he actually does. But they just feel like kind of chuck-in minifigures. I'm sure we'll get an armor remade at some point, but Paz Vizsla's probably a bit less likely, so maybe just putting him in the set would be kind of cool. On to the more interesting new minifigures. I think that a really cool possibility which no one's talking about is that crew from the Prisoner episode, because they're just the kind of minifigures that we won't get unless they're kind of in the set. These are like the perfect minifigures for this set. Considering we're getting minifigures like Ahsoka, these ones just make so much more sense considering that they were actually on the Razor Crest, especially the droid and the crew. I think that just they are the perfect inclusions, and I really hope that they are included in the set. Plus, since the Mos Eisley Cantina, the Deveronia mold does actually exist, so I would see Lego definitely wanting to reuse that. Out of this crew, the only mold that actually needs to be made is the droid head, which I can definitely see Lego doing, especially in such a big set. Plus, he's the only member of the crew to actually reappear other than Mayfeld, considering he was in the season 2 episode where his head was used. There are also 2 less likely characters from the episode, being Ranzar and then Kin, who is the brother. I think that these are less likely, but I guess they are possibilities if these are included. Speaking of less likely characters, I think Cobb Vanth is a possibility, although I do kind of doubt it. I think having Boba's armor on the ship as an Easter egg would be really cool, showing that obviously he got it from Cobb Vanth, but as a minifigure himself, I guess it's a possibility, although he doesn't really interact with the Razor Crest again. If Boba's in his Tusken outfit though, I don't see a reason not to include him. Again, I'll also mention Carson Tavor, who's the X-Wing pilot. I guess also Trapper Wolf, but I think they're, like, obviously they're never on the Razor Crest, but they are obviously around it, so I guess they are a possibility, but they just don't really make sense to come in a set that isn't their X-Wings, because they don't really ever get out of their X-Wings, except for when Mando has literally left a planet, so I do not expect them in the set. The Mimban spy in the Siege episode from Season 2, who is told to go work on the Razor Crest, is a really niche inclusion, but I think I would like it. I do not expect that at all. It would just be a cool minifigure to have and to get our first Mimban minifigure. And now I'll address Frog Lady, because she is a pretty obvious inclusion, but the reason I haven't mentioned her in that obvious section is that she has been specifically rumored to not be in the set from Republic Studs. I really hope that isn't true, but considering that that was mentioned, that is very disappointing, and I'll take it for now and not get my hopes up that she's in the set. There is some representation of that episode though, like just including a spider would be really cool, maybe just 2 mini ones as an Easter egg. I think that is just a cool thing to include. Also, Blurgs should be coming in this set with Quail in it, hopefully a new mold thing, so it would be cool to get some more animals to go alongside it. Those are the minifigures I think will be coming in the set though, and if that turns out to be true, or at least similar, I think that's a pretty great selection, and it will definitely go down as one of the best sets of all time, so I really hope that this minifigure selection is very similar. Still though, it would be very disappointing that Frog Lady isn't included. Now please, let me know all your predictions for minifigures in the set down below. Are you excited for the set? Are you willing to spend $530 on it? It could even be more with price increases. Are you willing to spend that much? However, yeah, that'll be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. That'll be all, folks. Goodbye.